Yismechu v'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu v'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Oneg Shabbat Mekadeshei, Mekadeshei Shvi Shabbat Kulam yismehu v'yitanku metuvecha Shabbat Yismechu v'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu v'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Oneg Shabbat Zecher l'maaseh, l'maaseh v'reishit Shabbat Zecher l'maaseh, l'maaseh v'reishit Shabbat Yismechu v'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu v'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Oneg Shabbat Yalalai, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lai, lalai. Yalalai, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lai, lalai. Yalalai, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lai, lalai. Yalai, lai, yalai, lai, lai. Yalai, yalalai, lai, lalai. Yalai, lai. Yalai, yalalai, lai, lalai, yalai, lai, yalai, yalalai, lai, lalai, yalai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai. Yalalai, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lai, lalai, yalai, lai, yalai, lai, lai, yalai, yalalai, lai, lalai, yalai, lai, yalai, yalalai, lai, lalai, yalai, lai, yalai, yalalai, lai, lalai, yalai, lai. Yalai, lai, lai, lai. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam Beini uvein v'nei Yisrael oti leolam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Manavu al hefarim, raglei mevaser, mashmiya shalom levaser tov, mashmiya Yeshua. Manavu hefarim, raglei mevaser, mashmiya shalom mevaser tov, mashmiya Yeshua. Mashmiya shalom mevaser tov, mashmiya Yeshua. Mashmiya shalom mevaser tov, mashmiya Yeshua. Hine matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, hine matov. Yalalai, yalalalalai, hine matov, hine matov. Yalalai, yalalalalai, hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Good morning
shalom.
and welcome. It's wonderful to have you all here.
So before we begin, a few words. This would be a perfect time, if you happen to have your cell phone on you, to turn it onto silence or even turn it off if you dare, so that we can really focus and be together this morning in this experience we're about to have together. Because this morning we are not only joining together to celebrate Shabbat, but of course we are joining together to be able to see Lily and Caleb become B'nai Mitzvah, and they've worked very hard to prepare for this day, and so we really hope that you'll be as focused as possible and really be able to enjoy everything they're doing. So we're going to start this morning by singing Matovu, and you are more than welcome to sing along anytime you like. We do ask, however, that you please wear your masks at all times, just to make sure that we can keep everyone safe.
Matovu, Matovu. Mishkenatecha Yisrael, Matovu, מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל ואני ברוב חסדך אבוא ביתך אשתחווה לך קודשך ויראתך מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל משכנותיך ישראל.
So it is now our honor to invite our B'nai Mitzvah forward to lead us in the service. And before they do that, if you guys want to come on up, we're going to invite their parents up onto the bima to place their talit upon them.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam
Eloheinu melech haolam
asher kedishanu
b'mitzvotav
b'mitzvotav
b'tzivanu lahit atif bat tzitzit.
Amen.
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 Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Our service begins on page 170 in the Blue Prayer Book.
May my life be one link in a chain of goodness as I say the prayers of my ancestors. Help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage, may I be worthy of it.
May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found and the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing.
And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, in being a living witness to the truth that never changes.
Please turn to page 195 and rise for the call to worship.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei hoshech, oseh shalom uvarei et hakol, hameir la'aretz, v'ladarim aleha berachamim, uvetuvo, mechadesh b'chal yom tomid, ma'aseh v'reshit.
Marabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita mela ha'aretz kinyanecha. Tit barach Adonai Eloheinu, al tzavach maseh yadach, va'al moreh or shashita, yifaruch tzila or hadosh al Zion Ta'ir, V'nazkei Kulanu, Me Ra Lo Ro, Baruch Atah Adonai, Yotzer Hamarot.
The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes. More welcome than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words as I bring words forth from silence. Welcome then, you who redeems the sun from darkness.
We join in singing the Shema at the top of page 200.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשיעותיך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוקים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home, to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Mi chamoch ba'elim Adonai mi kamoch neder b'kodesh noratei lo sefelet noratei lo שיר החדשה שמחודי עולים לשמך ספר היום יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד
Please turn to page 205 and rise for the tefillah. Adonai sefatati ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah,
Ha'el hagadol hagibor v'hanora El Elyon Gomer chasadim tovim V'konei hakol V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot U'mevii geula livnei b'neihem L'ma'an shemo be'ahava Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham v'ezrat Sarah Atah gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayei hakol atah rav lehoshia Mechalkel chayim b'chesed Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim v'rofei cholim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato Lishenei afar Michamocha bal gevurot Umido melach Melech meimit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol.
You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the doorframe, I beckon to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you.
In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions. Waiting to be posed, they fill me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher, encourage my seeking as I fill my hours with your mitzvot. So shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving.
And we join in Kedusha on 208. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמרו, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מעתיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהייך ציון, לדור ודור. ודור ודור נגיד גאונך, ולנצח נצחים קדושך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. I'll turn now in our Sidurim to page 216 and offer a prayer for peace with the words of Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom. Ose Shalom Bimroma Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'yakov Yisrael Ve'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimrama Uya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'yakov Yisrael Ve'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'yakov Yisrael Ve'imeru Amen.
So, before we move any further in the service, I just want to take a moment to be present, to be here. And Lily and Kev, can I ask you to stand up? Can you stand up for a second? So if you don't have the view that I have, you may not have been able to see this. So actually, guys, would you turn around just for a second? All right.
Nicely.
Custom. Yeah, custom. Very nice. Please take a seat. Take a seat. If you don't speak Hebrew, or if you haven't been trained, as Lily and Caleb have been, to lead this service, this may have been pleasant, but a really confusing experience. So I'd just like to tell you a little bit about what's been happening, about what's going to happen, so that you get a sense of where we are, and what exactly we're doing, and how much work and time went into this experience. Lily and Caleb have basically taken you through Hebrew prayer on a cosmological ride through the history of the universe. And they've gotten through the beginning of the book of Genesis. They've taken us now past all of the great ancestors that we know about and that we speak about in our prayers, and we've gone into Egypt. And Egypt is a very important place because it is the place before which we are about to get the Torah. We sang songs of crossing the Red Sea. Now, technically, according to the service, we've come out of Egypt, and all of us are standing, or conveniently for us now, sitting at the foot of Mount Sinai, at the top of which is a great fire. And Lily and Caleb are going to walk in the footsteps of their ancestors. They're going to go the top of this mountain of fire, Mount Sinai. And they're not just going to get Torah. They're not just going to get the text. They're going to receive it. It's going to be handed down to them. When they receive it, they're going to give you their custom version of it. They'll tell you what the text says, but then they're going to act within the tradition and speak to what they think personally this means to our generation, to them, and most importantly, to all of us. So without any further ado, I welcome you to the foot of Mount Sinai, where our leaders are gathering and the mountain is burning with fire.
You know, so much about today's experience is not just about being able to pass Torah all the way through the generations of history, but specifically about really the Torah of this family. And because we have two B'nai Mitzvah here, we have a Bar Mitzvah and a Bat Mitzvah, we couldn't have just one Torah. The words in the Torahs are all the same, but we needed to at least have two physical scrolls. And so the two Torah scrolls that we're going to be using today, one is our Torah scroll at Temple Israel, which is the newest scroll that we have here, the most ancient words, but the newest scroll. But the other scroll is one that Lily and Caleb's great-grandfather, Norman Buddy Spetner, that he brought over from Czechoslovakia, and this is what we call sometimes a Holocaust Torah. It was one that was really rescued from, just as Rabbi Michael was talking about, this idea of sort of the depths of the fire. And he brought it to St. Louis, to Sharet Tzedek, so that we would be able to still keep that tradition and all of those lives who are lost alive. And so there's this great symbolism of being able to pass them both the new Torah and the old as we pass it through the generations of their family. So to do so, we have a few things that we need to ask you to do. First, I would love to ask Uncle Robbie and Zachy to come forward and open the Ark for us. And if we can invite everyone to please rise so that we can witness the passing of the Torahs. Lador Vador Nagid Gadlecha, from generation to generation we praise God's greatness, and so too from generation to generation we pass the teachings of this Torah from grandparent to parent to child. Zachy, you don't get it quite yet, buddy. You're next time. We join now in the singing of Ki Mitzion. Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah, Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah, U'davar Adonai Mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato. Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
Lecha Adonai Hagedula v'Hagevura v'Tiferet Lecha Netzach v'Chachod. Ki ho b'shamayim u'va'aretz, ki ho b'shamayim u'va'aretz, lecha Adonai hamamlecha, le'mitnaseh lechol lerosh.
Please be seated.
Baruch et Adonai Hamro Ra, Baruch Adonai Hambrach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Adonai Hambrach Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
V'yihu Haye Sarah Me'ah Shana V'esrim Shnei V'sheva Shanim Haye Sarah V'tamat Sarah V'kiryat Arba Kiv Hebron Ba'eretz Canaan V'yavo Avraham Litzpo L'Sarah V'livkota V'yakam Avraham Me'al Pnei Meto V'yadaber El Bnei Het Lemor Ger V'tashav Anach Amchim Ti Lo Achuzat Kever Imchem Vikbara Meti Milfana Yana Bnei Het Et Avraham Lemor Lo Shma'uni Adoni Nasi Eloham Ata Batochenu B'mivhar Kevrenu Kevor Et Metecha Ish Mimenu Et Kevro Yichlo Mimenu Mikvor Metecha Vayakam Avraham Vayashtacha La'am Ha'aretz Lik B'nei Het Vayadaber Eta Lemor Ash Vishata Le'am Ha'aretz Le'nei Chaye V'daber Im Yesh Et Nafshechem Lefor Et Metecha Milfana Shma'uni Ufigoli Befrom Ho Vez Bohar Beta Lo Ahar Metecha Bala Asher Lo Asher Bikse Shadauni Batsifar Mela Yatana Lo Betakam Lihata Bikse Kevor Yithbara Yeshev Bikse Bnei Het Vayaz Afro Chaye At Avraham Vaznei Bnei Het Lechol Ba Shma'ar Ashro Lemor Lo Adoni Shma'uni Asad Natati Lo Yifa'ar Eshbolo Natatiya Le'ana B'nei'em Natatiya Kevor Metecha.
Amen.
Vayosef Avraham Viha Isha Ushma Keturah Vate Lebo Et Zimran Vet Yakshan Vet Midan Vet Midian Vet Yishbach Vet Shua V'Yakshan Yalad Et Shiva Vet Dedan Uvnei Dedan Hayu Ashurim Uletushim Uleumim Uvnei Midian Efa V'Efer V'Hanoch V'Avidah V'Eldaah Kol Elev B'nei Keturah V'Yitein Avraham Et Kol Asher Lo L'Yitzchak V'Libnei Hapilagshim Asher LaAvraham Natan Avraham Matano V'Yasacham Me'al Yitach B'no Be'odenu Chai Kedma El Eretz Kadam Ve'elad Yamei Shnei Chaye Avraham Asher Chai Me'at Shana V'Sevea Shana V'Chamesh Shana V'Yigiva V'Yamat Abraham v'seva tova, Zaken v'savea v'seh el amav, v'yikberu oto Yitzhak v'Ishmael amav el me'arat hamakpelah, el sadeh Ephron ben Sohar Achiti asher afnei Mamre, Asadeh asher kana Avraham, me'at v'nechet shamav, ubar Avraham v'Sarah ishto, v'yihi acharei mot Avraham v'esrim v'nei v'sha Yitzhak imberu l'chai ro'i.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So it is a tradition to lift the Torah in the air so you can actually see what they just read. So I'm going to invite Adam to help lift the Torah in Hagbah, and I'd ask everyone else to please rise.
V'zot haTorah asher sham Moshe
Lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe.
This is the Torah which Moses placed before the people of Israel, God's word through the hand of Moses.
A famous quote from Keeping Up with the Steins. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek.
V'hamelech David zaken ba bayamim v'chuzu ba b'gadim v'lo yaham lo v'homer lo amoda v'kapshu ladoni hamelech nara v'tula v'amda lifnei hamelech utilo sochenet v'amva v'kcha Vaham Ladoni Hamelech Vakshu Nara Yafa Bechol Gavul Yisrael Vayamtsu et Avishag Ashu Namit Vayavu Ota Limelech Vahnara Yafa Ad-Mod Vati Lamelech Sochenet Vaya'areu v'amlach lo yada'a radonia v'chagit mit naseh lemor ani hamlo vaya'elo rachev ufareshim vayamishim ish ratzim lifnei.
Velo asavo aviv miyamav lemor madua kaka asita v'gam hu tov toar me'od ve'oto yolada acharei avishalom vayichiyu devarav im Yoav ben Tzeruya v'im Aviatar hakohen v'yeziru acharei Adoniyahu v'tzadok hakohen Uvenayahu, Ven Yehoyada, Venatan, Hanavi, Vishimei, Verei, Vehagiborim, Asher Ledavid, Lo Hayu, Im Adoniyahu, V'yizibach Adoniyahu, Son Uvakar, Umeri, Im Aven, Hazohelet, Asher, Eitzel, Ein Rogel, V'yikera, Et Kol Echav, B'nei, Hamelech, Ulekal, Aneshe, V'yihuda, Avidei, Hamelech, Ve'et Natan, Hanavi, Uvenayihu, Ve'et Hagiborim, Ve'et Shalomo, Ahiv Lo Kara.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, tzor kol haolamim, tzadik b'chol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer v'oseh, ha'medaber u'mkayeh, shekol davarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im, ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, Shnatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, lahavod utifaret, al hakol Adonai Eloheinu. Anachnu modim lach, umvarchim ota, yichbara shimcha, b'fi cholhai tamid le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, Vinny. Hi, Aunt Marcy. Hi, Aunt Helene. Oh, Baba. I want to teach you a Yiddish word. The word is besheret. It means meant to be or destiny. My bat mitzvah was scheduled for November 2020. My Torah portion was to be Chai Sarah. Then COVID hit, and I had to change my bat mitzvah schedule and plans. Surprisingly, when we rescheduled, my Torah portion for the new date was once again Chai Sarah. This wasn't on purpose. I think Chai Sarah was meant to be my portion. It was besheret. In fact, maybe it was even besheret that Caleb and I ended up having our B'nai Mitzvot together. I'm actually really glad it happened as it did, because now I get to share this special milestone with my brother. When studying Chai Sarah, there were many ideas I explored, topics like kindness, gratitude, hospitality, and generosity. This might surprise some of you, but believe it or not, the topic I was most drawn to write about was mourning. Not mourning like wake up in the morning, but mourning as in mourning a loss. I know that this is an unusual topic for a kid my age to talk about at her bat mitzvah, but I don't think it's talked about as much as it should be, and it isn't a popular subject. Also, I was a little worried it might be too sad or heavy, but I think it's important, and I would like to bring some attention to it. At the beginning of my portion, Sarah dies. Just to remind you, Sarah is the wife of Abraham and mother of Isaac. After Sarah dies, the Torah says Abraham proceeded to mourn for Sarah and to bewail her. When I read about Abraham mourning Sarah, it made me think a lot about my family these past few years. Mourning my Zeta, my Baba Sherry, and my Grandma Helen also made me think of other kinds of losses, especially the losses from COVID and a year at home without my friends and a delaying in my bat mitzvah. Everything that happened made me really think about the process of mourning. To mourn means to feel or express grief or sorrow after experiencing a loss. To me, part of mourning is honoring and celebrating those we have lost. One way to help us honor our loved ones who have passed is to name others after them. I am actually named after 3 beloved family members and a close family friend. My English name is Lily Tama, after my Baba Lil, and after our dear friend Shelley's mom, Tama. And my Hebrew name is Hannah Fruma, after my Aunt Annie and after my Aunt Ellie. I'm glad I have their names to carry on their legacy. Another way of honoring someone's memory is through the ritual of sitting Shiva. Shiva is a Jewish custom that was really important to me and my family after my Zeta died. Unfortunately, we couldn't come together for Shiva in person because of COVID, but we were able to be together virtually. Of course, it was a different experience, but I'm glad it happened in the way that it did. Mostly because I got to see all of my aunts, uncles, and cousins, and we all got to talk and listen to everyone's stories and prayers. It was comforting and helpful to me, and it almost felt like I was in the same room with them. Speaking of stories, I'm so lucky to come from two families of fantastic storytellers. Hearing stories about my Zeta made him feel close, like he was with us. It made me learn more about him and what he was like before I was born. The stories were entertaining, funny, and touching. Jewish tradition is filled with stories. Even the Torah is full with them. There is a quote I love by Miriam Glazer that says, "We are passionate about our stories. They are traces within us of holiness." I believe that storytelling helps us grieve. It helps us remember those we have lost and helps us continue their legacy. I can't wait until my little cousin Lainey is old enough so that I can tell her all the stories about Zeta and share with her all the good memories that will live in our hearts forever. There's one more idea from my Parsha that really struck me that I want to share with you. After Sarah dies and Abraham mourns, the Torah states that Abraham rose up. You're probably asking yourself, what does this mean to rise up? Here's what I think. Abraham mourns Sarah and is sad, but he accepts that she is gone and he understands that he needs to move forward, to rise up. He allows himself to be sad and he can still move forward. I've noticed that my closest family has started to rise up after the loss of my Zeta. Maybe this is a way of honoring him, to rise up and to choose life. I know that everyone still misses him and continues to grieve and feel sad, but that doesn't stop any of them from living their lives. They've been such good examples of how important it is to mourn people that you love. I'm grateful they were comfortable sharing and talking about the mourning process with me, because now I feel more mature and able to understand that death is a part of life. From them, I have learned that mourning is about honoring our loved ones and honoring our sadness. It means praying, crying, praising, respecting, and talking about the person we lost and telling stories. All these things help us heal and remember and feel comforted. I've learned so much from my Jewish heritage and my family about grief and mourning. I will take and carry these lessons with me forever. Shabbat Shalom. Now I would like to take a moment to say thank you to some special people who helped me through my bat mitzvah process. First, I'd like to thank Debbie Schultz for teaching me all the Torah readings and the prayers and songs. Thank you, Rabbi Amy and Rabbi Michael. You guys were like the glue holding everything together. And thank you for your support all along the way. Thank you to all my friends who are here. I can always count on you guys, and I'm happy to have all of you here with me today. Thank you, Aunt Lori, for helping me with my speech, not only for being my mentor, but being a wonderful family member. Thank you to all my aunts, uncles, and cousins who came in town from all over the country to be here for me. It really means a lot that you are here to support me. I feel so lucky to have such a big, fun, loving family like you guys. Uncle Robbie and Aunt Stacy, thank you for making all the swag tonight, and of course being my favorite aunt and uncle. I'm so glad we get to have Stacy in our family, and of course Lainey. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Thank you, Nana and Papa, for supporting me and helping with a lot of the planning around my big day. I'm so lucky to have your love and support, not just today, but always. Baba, I don't know where to start. I can't thank you enough for listening to me practice, helping me with the planning, being excited for me, spending hours with the props tonight. You're one of my best friends, and I love you so much. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Zach and Solly, for being excited and talking and barking about today 24/7. You guys are my favorite cheerleaders. Thank you. Thank you, Caleb, for sharing today with me. I'm glad we got to do it together. My mom and dad, I appreciate you telling me to work on my Torah portion every night. Honestly, your nagging really helped me and got me here today. Thank you so much for spending hours and hours of your time for me and Caleb to make this very important day in our lives so special. It really means a lot to us. I love you and I appreciate all of your hard work and creative ideas that made my bat mitzvah one to remember. I'm lucky to have you for my mom and dad, and I love you to the moon and back. And finally, I want to thank my Zeta and Spirit. A great big thanks to you for inspiring me for everything about my bat mitzvah. You were probably the most excited out of everyone today. I'm so sorry you weren't here, but I feel you are here with us now and always.
Shabbat Shalom. Hi, Aunt Helene. Hi, Aunt Marcy. Cousin Jamie's the best. My sister Lily just shared some important things about death and mourning with you. Now I want to share some important things about life. I'm 12 and a half, and I know I might seem a little young to talk about such big ideas, but here I am now. As you already know, the name of my Torah portion is Haya Sarah. Haya Sarah means the life of Sarah. How weird. The portion is called the life of Sarah, but it starts with her death. The first line of the portion is Sarah lived to be 127 years old. Such was the span of Sarah's life. This made me think a lot about life, and it made me think a lot about my own family. The first thing that I thought about was the cycle of life. It says in a famous quote from our tradition, "To everything there's a season, and time to every purpose." In our family, we lost my Zeta, and my cousin Lainey's birth came soon after. Life is full of endings and new beginnings. When one door closes, another one opens. Also, this made me think about how people are connected through generations. Like, for example, I see my Zeta and Lainey because she has blue eyes just like Zeta. I have blonde hair, and my grandma Helen had blonde hair just like me too. These connections make everyone closer. These connections make me feel like I have more people with me and give me a feeling of belonging. It also makes me think how there's a lot more people just like me. Another thing I would like to talk about comes later in the portion. It says Abraham died full of age. Believe it or not, Abraham lived to be 175 years old, and so he accomplished a lot. He was the first Jew, he got married, had kids he loved, he changed, he grew, he traveled, he learned. The Torah says he was full of age. What does full of age means to me? I think it means more than just your actual age. To me, it means being full of life. I think you can be full of age at any age. You don't have to be 175. Even being born is an accomplishment. I'm living my full life at age 12. To me, being full of age means appreciating that I have a supportive and loving family. It means starting to do my bucket list stuff. I'm working on it. Some of my bucket list items are going to college, having a bar mitzvah, check. Skydiving, bungee jumping, having a family, and going to Tokyo and Niagara Falls. Full of age means accomplishing things that I want to accomplish. It means believing myself, being with family, and doing what I enjoy doing. Learning and being curious, learning by playing sports, learning from playing video games, learning from others, even my brother who's younger. One more thing about having a full life is having a curious mind. Surprisingly, learning the Torah is like putting the missing puzzle pieces of a story, so I can learn about myself and a lot about family. And a lot about life. Things can have much more meaning than they seem. Learning Torah made me ask questions and have curiosity. If I don't ask questions, I can probably miss something big. And if I do ask questions, I'll be smarter than I was before I asked the question. And I'll know a lot more. I think this process has opened my mind. I think it is part of being full of life too. There's one more thing I would like to share. My name, Caleb, means wholehearted, positive, bold, and brave. In the Torah, Caleb was known for his fearlessness. Joseph is my middle name. It means to add spice to life. My Hebrew name is Shlomo, which means peace, and Nehemiah, which means comforted by God. Wow, wholehearted, positive, brave, fearless, spicy, peaceful, and comforted. Now that I'm a bar mitzvah, I hope that I can bring all these cool qualities into myself. That will help me live a full life. Shabbat Shalom. First, I would like to thank people who helped me along the way. First, thank you, Doughty, for helping me learn all the Hebrew prayers and my portion too. Thank you, Rabbi Amy and Rabbi Michael, for giving me advice and support as I prepared for my bar mitzvah. Thank you, Aunt Laurie, for helping me understand all the thoughts of my Torah portion and for helping me with my amazing speech. To my friends here today, thank you for coming and continually telling me how excited you guys are about today. Joey, I'm so glad all of you guys can make it. Dear aunts and uncles and cousins, I'm so lucky that there are so many of you that I can't give each and one of you a shout out. It means so much to me that you're here. Thank you. To Nana and Papa, thank you for calling in every day and checking in on me and my activities. I feel your support all the time. To Uncle Robbie and Aunt Stacy, thank you, Uncle Robbie, for your help in letting my mom do whatever she wanted in the shop. And for you and Stacy for giving me my only first cousin. Thank you, Baba, for helping put together this awesome service and party. Thank you for helping with me listen and practice every night. Thank you, Zach and Lily, for being my little brother and for always helping me with technology and VR that you're on 10 hours a day. And Lily, thanks for being next to me all the way during this B'nai Mitzvah journey. And finally, my mom and dad, thank you for putting together this awesome B'nai Mitzvah and for the very cool swag and for loving me the fullest for my whole life. All your planning and hard work did not go unnoticed. I'm proud to have you for my parents, and I love you very, very much. Shabbat Shalom.
Lil. Rabbi Amy said that when we speak to you, it should be like a blessing. We should not just share all of the reasons why you're so great, but our hopes and wishes and prayers for you. Here they are. We hope that you always have a reason to smile. Your smile lights up every room and it draws people into your life. We hope that you always have Judaism and Shabbat as part of your life. Not just the candles that you light with Baba each week, but the time for peacefulness, rest, and reflection. We hope that you always feel how much you are loved. Just like the circle of life that Caleb spoke about, you are also part of that circle. As Zeta passed away and Lainey was born, so did Baba Lil pass away, and not long after you were born. You carry the names of strong women before you, and they will always be a part of you. Everyone who knew this family was overjoyed when you were born and continues to love you to this day. Look at all the love in the room supporting you. We hope you always remain kind. Your empathy and kindness have been trademarks of your personality since you were little. You've always helped those in need or said hello to those without a friend by their side. You always say please and thank you with a smile. You always ask others how they are and mean it with sincerity every time. We hope you always have the ability to forgive people as you do now. It is with amazing grace that you sometimes have things done to you, and the ability you have to forgive and move on amazes. Each time I have overreacted or yelled unnecessarily, I have tried to apologize. Each time, with true forgiveness, you say it's okay and give a hug. Once, in the 4th grade, you were pushed. The result was a cast and a sling on your arm. As a parent, I was not so easy to forgive. As we left 4th grade graduation and the pusher and her mother were walking to the car, I wanted nothing more than to grab and yell and scream at both of them, the child and the mother. You, on the other hand, looked right at her and said, Congratulations on your graduation. The other mother beamed with pride as her daughter accepted that congratulation. I never forgot that moment. I knew then I could only hope to be like you. We hope you always dance. It does not have to be on a stage or for an audience or part of a team, but for yourself. We watch you with your grit and determination and can see how much it fills you. Any young adult who finds time 4 days a week and twice on Saturday to devote her time to dancing must surely love it, and I hope you find a way to pirouette your way through life. We hope you choose a path that leads you to exactly what you want. So many people already have an idea or have been placed with a label of what they should be, but we want this to be your path, not ours. The journey is important. Don't miss it. Do the unexpected. Be great. We wish for you a long life of health and friendships and fun. We wish for you love and family. We hope that you're always as happy as you are right now. We hope that you always let your joy and happiness win. We are so proud of you. We believe with all of our hearts the world is better with you in it. Lily, you're our favorite child, and we love you.
Huh?
I need another Kleenex. Caleb, you spoke so beautifully today about being full of life. It was, as Lily said, Basheret. We have always said that having you has made our house feel full of life. It feels different when you're not there. It feels quiet and calm and just less than. We understand that you're living your full life at age 12, but we do have some hopes and wishes and prayers for the rest of your life. We hope that you're always funny. You make us laugh every day. You make others laugh every day. It is a gift when not being used during English class. Your humor shows your ability to understand things. Your jokes show us just how clever you really are. I hope that people always leave your presence just a little happier and with a smile. We hope your Jewish heritage stays with you so you can pass it to the next generation. You carry the generation before you in both your name and your personality. Continue these traditions for your own legacy to live on. We hope that you always have the ability to understand the world around you. Zeta used to always say, "That Caleb, he really gets it." I don't know if there's a better description than that. As parents, it was quite a challenge because you always got the adult humor and never failed to repeat it wherever you were. Using it appropriately, I might add. You always have an ability to be able to read between the lines and make sense of any situation. We hope you can navigate the world with this skill and make the path a little easier. We hope you never lose your sense of wonder. As a parent, it provided us with scary moments. 3 years old going to find a better seat at a parade. 8 years old following the stormtroopers without Baba at Disneyland. 11 years old driving the go-kart as fast as you can while Uncle Robbie and Aunt Stacy were in charge. Showed us all that you wanted to do what you wanted to do and never needed us to hold your hand. Your curiosity of what will happen if I do this has been an interesting ride to watch. As you grow, we hope you'll be able to explore, wonder, and learn, all while knowing the difference of right and wrong, safe or not. We hope you let others see your sweet, kind side. Sometimes your adolescent boy self falls away, and the sweetness you have is unmatched. All the time that you spent with Zeta over the last few years was when it really came through. Your amazing patience and the time you spent together was a great gift to you both. Zeta sitting, as we called it, showed us what a compassionate, loving kiddo you are. We hope that you know that our love is unconditional. You have tested the limits both at home and at school, and there are consequences for those oops notes. But at the end of the day, there is no time, no matter what, that we do not love you. We hope you always hear the music. It's part of you. Since you could walk, you had an instrument in your hand and a song singing from your lips. You don't have to be famous or have an audience to keep the music in your heart and share your gift with those around you. We wish for you a long life of health, friendship, and fun. We wish for you love and family. We hope you're always as happy as you are right now. We hope that you let your joy and happiness win. We're so proud of you. We believe with all of our hearts the world is better with you in it. Caleb, you're our favorite child, and we love you.
She said that's for me.
Thank you.
Not that it had to be said, but Zachy, you are also their favorite child. Don't worry. All right, so Rabbi Michael and I have a few things for you guys today. There, you get to be into these ones. So first, Lily and Caleb, we have these certificates that say that indeed today you became bat and bar mitzvah. Mazel tov. We never doubted it. Should anyone doubt you, you have proof. We also hope that at some point along your Jewish journey, you will take a trip to the land of Israel. And if you choose to do it with a youth group, then we have this little bit to get you started. And Rabbi Michael?
This Shabbat is special. In certain communities, particularly in the Ashkenazi or Eastern European community, to wear a prayer shawl, to wear a talit, means that you're married. That is not the case. But we do want to remind you that every Shabbat, not just this one, is one that you can sanctify, make holy, and say a Kiddush over, just as you did yesterday. And these 2 Kiddush cups also convert into Lamborghini convertibles. We continue to study at Congregation Temple. I'll tell you about it.
All right, and one final thing, as we've said again and again, this day is really all about family. And so we have this beautiful talit that your grandfather bought in Israel, and I've never seen a talis quite like this. So your parents are going to put it on you as we offer you this blessing. May God bless you and keep you.
May God's light be made to shine upon you. Go on your way to light.
May God's countenance be lifted over you. May we always be granted with wholeness and with peace. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
We love you.
All right, you guys get to sit down, and then I'm going to ask Risa Fingerman if she will help us a little bit. I lost Risa. No, not right now. And we'll ask everyone else, if you will, to please rise and turn to page 282 for the words of the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
On page 287, V'nemar
V'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Vayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad.
So though we are here today in a time of joy, as you've heard again and again, so much of this day is really about memory. And so we take just a moment to think of our loved ones who can't be here today, and especially thinking of those members of the Spetner and Doughty family who would have so loved to be here today. We think of them in spirit and all of our loved ones as we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitzgadal, Yitzkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Ba'alma divrach yoteh v'yamlich malchuteh, B'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala ubizman kariv emru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei Kedusha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbachata v'nechemata, Ta'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru.
So my friends, we are so delighted that you could be here with us this morning. A few last things before we send you on your way. First of all, thank you to Hashemish for your beautiful music. As you leave today, a few words of instructions. First, if you wouldn't mind taking your sidurim and putting them back on the little cart where they came from. Also, when you leave, not time yet, but when you leave, we're going to ask that you let Lily and Caleb leave in front of you because they have a little goodie to be able to give you as you walk out the door to the luncheon, and you can get to the luncheon either to your left, either to your right. Once you go out there, you will find it. But in order to do that luncheon, we have to say our Kiddush and Motzi. So, the ants. All right, so if we can have the ants help us with a Kiddush and Motzi. And Kiddush can be found on page 301. All right, ants.
I extend my hand to whichever ant will grab my golden lamp. There you go. Raise my come by the microphone, yeah, and so everyone can see.
Good. We're singing the whole thing? I don't know. No. Are we singing the whole thing? Just the one-liner.
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Someone has to drink it or it'll out.
Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, so my friends, we are going to sing you out the door.
Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu Al kol Yisrael Al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 Oh say shalom bimromav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. V'ha'er einenu v'toratecha v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha v'yachid levalenu le'ahava u'yira et shemecha v'ha'er einenu v'toratecha v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha v'yachid levalenu le'ahava u'yira et shemecha v'lo nevosh v'lo nikalem v'lo nikashel le'olam va'ed v'ha'er einenu v'toratecha v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha v'yachid levalenu le'ahava u'yira et shemecha
I'm sorry, you could take a nap. I just said this is a